more than 20 times in India. I was in India because I was Minister of Sarkozy 2 times for transportation. I was in India because I was High Representative in 2009 and 2010, High Representative of France for Afghanistan and Pakistan. And last time I was in India because I was elected for the French who live abroad, and I was the members of parliament elected in national parliament for the French who live in Asia. And as you know, we have many French citizens in Pondicherry, Karikal. That's why when I heard in the press or when I read it, this person doesn't know in India. Of course, I'm not specialist in India, but I don't go just for that. I repeat, I was, I think, nearly 10, 20 times, and in Tamil Nadu, in Bangalore, in Chennai, or in Mumbai, or in Delhi. I was many times the last time. Second, I'm not here, like all my colleagues from European Parliament, to interfere in Indian politics. My target is first to have an information about the situation, because as responsible of politics, I read many things about Kashmir, and even if this travel is short, it's a good opportunity to have some information about the subject. And I'm here because I know how terrorism can destroy a country. I remember when I was in Afghanistan. Last month I was in Syria, and I know that the terrorism now is a world problem. It's a problem of France, it's a problem of Europe, it's a problem of world, and I don't want Kashmir become a second Afghanistan. And for me it was occasion to have information about, I repeat, what's happened in Kashmir, and never forget that if a war is finishing, if the situation is nearly finishing, it's not finishing in Middle East, the international of terrorism can find a new place in the future. And I think it's not your interest, it's not the interest of the world that the new place for the terrorism became Kashmir. And to finish, I was here, I told you to have some information. During these days we have information about, of course, the public administration, of course the public with information about army, and of course we had very interesting discussion yesterday afternoon with some responsible of civil society who was involved in association, who was involved in the normal life. And what was this message? Maybe it was the most interesting because it was from the heart. What these people said, they said, we just want to be Indian, we are Indian citizens, and we want to be Indian like all the other Indian citizens. We want to have a development like other parts of the country, and we hope that this change of stature will be occasion for our region to be a better level of development, better level for my young to go to school, better level for my mother to go in hospital, and that's all. After that, I repeat, to conclude, we are not here to interfere in Indian politics. And when I read in some newspaper or yesterday on TV that we can be Nazi, or I don't know why, it's very strange for me to start a sort of career at 61 years old. But I think if you watch my past in Wikipedia or something like that, I think I won't be Minister of France, or I won't be elected 14 times in different functions if I were like that. And if I can give just an advice to some journalists, please, before to write something, read a little bit the biography of people. Thanks for your attention.
Variety from different corners of Europe. I'm a Liberal member of the Parliament from Europe. I want to say how much I regret, like my colleagues, the news of the killings last night, terrorist killings. That is a terrible thing. Innocent lives taken, families destroyed, wage earners removed to support their families. It's a terrible thing and should never happen, and we cannot possibly support or approve that. Europe is a peaceful place. After thousands of years of fighting each other, we since 1945, learned to live in peace together, and peace is much the best route for good lives for everybody. And India is a peaceful country that doesn't attack other countries. Europe and India have very strong, close links and great deal in common together. So we are here to find facts, to find out. We are your friends. We want to know, can we help? How can we support? How can we improve the situation? And that is the purpose for coming to find out. Yesterday, my colleagues have mentioned, we had fascinating meetings with representatives of civil society. I was privileged to talk to quite a lot of people. There wasn't enough time. I talked to teachers. They were very interesting about their schools. And one man told me that there was too much corruption in India and Kashmir. Too much, when money comes from central government, it doesn't always reach the project, or enough of it. It seems to disappear somewhere into the system. So nothing is perfect in life, but we're here to get facts and information, and it's been an excellent visit and very well organized. And thank you for being here.
Please, thank you very much indeed for the invitation for this press conference. Ladies and gentlemen, my colleagues explain, I think, very precisely the purposes of our visit in New Delhi and Jammu and Kashmir region. I would like only add that our delegation has 27 members of the European Parliament from Poland, France, United Kingdom, Great Britain, Northern Ireland, Germany, Italy, Spain, Belgium, Czech Republic, Slovakia, from different 6 political groups, 6 political factions. We are here because we'd like compare stereotypes, myths, imagination about the situation in Kashmir, which exists in the European Union, in our countries, in institutions, with the reality, with the facts. Terrorism in Kashmir is not problem only of India. Totally agree with my colleague, Mr. Mariani. I think it's our problem also, the problem of our international community, and obviously we need support India for finding of best solution for this problem. Finally, I would like to say that India is obviously biggest democracy in the world. It's the reason that we are here not as teachers or judges or prosecutors. We are here because we'd like to have better understanding of your problems, and in our opinion, this better understanding is the important background for our international reaction, also include the European Parliament. Thank you very much indeed for the hospitality of the government. I think after our comeback to Europe, we can inform our colleagues in the European Parliament and other European institutions about the real situation in India and in Kashmir. Thank you.
Questions from the members of the media. I would request to be brief and...
How would you respond to them? Because as you all told us about, you all have had a long political career and you've reached a certain level, and you've come here to gather your facts, and that has been your purpose. So 3 parts of my question. Mr. Mariani? Sir, please go ahead, sir. Sit down, please.
It's a long, beautiful experience. I think the scenery, the landscape is beautiful. So we were really all, I think, very impressed by the beauty of the region, very impressed by the beauty, and very impressed also by the engagement of the people we met. I I will let the colleague answer for other points. I would just say for the last question, first of all, it's a good sign that India has a very free press. You know, if you look at the neighboring countries of India, you won't see so much freedom and so much democracy in other parts of Asia and South Asia in particular. So this is first a good signal. Everybody has the right to say what they think, but just an element concerning my personal background. Tomorrow I'm flying to Dharamsala. I will meet for the fourth time His Holiness the Dalai Lama. We have been very supportive to his peaceful vision. So you can understand that I could have been shocked by these criticisms, which I understood are linked with internal Indian politics, which is not my concern.
Excellent. And really, are we better equipped? Much better, but I would have preferred to stay longer. But unfortunately, we are active politicians with people to represent back home, so we have work to do also. So it's been a privilege. I've learned a great deal. I wish I could stay longer. Maybe I will come back with my wife another time to learn. And we're happy. We're used to controversy, but we believe in openness and transparency and answering questions and listening and learning.
Honestly, I feel it's very bad. For me, it's an offense. How can some journalists don't make correct job and don't see the biography of the people? I repeat, I think if we were Nazi or something like that, or people in our respective country don't trust us. And it's completely free offense, and honestly, I don't want to interfere about the training of journalists, but you have a free press. But if I can give some advice to some of your colleagues, please study a little bit the biography of the people, except if you want to make propaganda. Second, are we better equipped? Yes, I think not enough. Of course, we will never be Kashmir citizenship. We will never be Kashmir. We don't live in Kashmir. But we are better equipped. Maybe, I think both, all of us now will have another eyes about the situation in Kashmir, and we will be more interesting when we have more information in the media, because we have some information in the European media, but of course, it's sometimes partial, sometimes not complete. And I think the second and the first question is nearly the same. How was my experience in Kashmir? I repeat, short, but good to have a first glance about the situation. And like my English colleague, I hope next time we will have more contact with civil society. But the information given by the authority was very interesting, and too, the information about terrorists given by the commandant of the force in this part of India was too very interesting to know the situation of terrorists. And as I said in my speech, I think terrorist is not finished. That means your problem sometimes could be us problem. That's why we are interesting too. We are not, Indian politics is your problem, but terrorism is common problem. And that's why for us it's interesting to be here.
This very short visit, especially after the meeting with representatives of local society. I'm sure that the people here want peace, want normal life, want education, want jobs, better competitiveness, and I'm sure after this conversation that terrorism destroy their dreams. And after our meeting with Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi and Vice President of India and Foreign Minister, we know that also the government knows about it.
TV. My question is very straight and simple. There are many. Question is very straight. What are your big takeaways from this Kashmir visit? And what do you see? What do you understand after spending a time, after meeting people, interacting?
Starts, if we correctly understood, we'll say that first of all, this visit, in my view, had very, very high importance because it's a sign that the European Union, European Parliament, European civil society is concerned by terrorism because Kashmir is a potential region where terrorism is very severe, very important, and it's not just a question of Kashmir, it's a global question. Terrorism is everywhere. We are also concerned because this terrorism in Kashmir, and we learned that with very good presentation from the army and from the police and from the civil authorities, is unfortunately coming from abroad. Majority of terrorists who have been killed, who have been put to prison, came from Pakistan. So it's an international problem. When we see what happened, all the protests going on, first of all, they are not so important. But another issue, we consider that the change of the status, the Article 370 for Pakistan is an internal issue for what we don't not have to be the judge. We have no reason to be judged. We have no legitimacy for that. And I think that the protests that are organized in all the countries should be directed to protest against terrorism, because all the problems of Kashmir are linked to terrorism. We saw all the assets, beautiful scenery here, all the possibility for tourist development, agriculture development, industry development, handicraft, and everything we have understood from all our contacts also with business people is blocked, is stopped by terrorists. So we like that all the international community, all the countries, wherever they are, work jointly against terrorism. And not to try to divide and to use any internal affairs to in a certain way support terrorism.
Mr. Janin, because except our British colleague, we don't speak English like him.
Okay, sir. Gentlemen, I have a question. What do you think about the Western media? Do you think the complete picture of this region, which includes Jammu, Ladakh and Kashmir, is ever projected clearly in Western media? Because you talked about stereotyping. So what are you...
About the media reporting, and we have this famous expression, fake news. So every time somebody issues a fact, somebody else issues the opposite opinion. And it's very difficult to decide. It's a long-term problem we have with the social media, with Facebook and so on as well. We have to know what to believe. So you gentlemen of the press, and my son is a journalist, so I understand this, you have a very big responsibility to check the facts and report them accurately. And I completely agree that our media in the West, in Europe, is not so good at that. So they should all do better.
Mr. Ishan, the problems concerning it, like getting blacklisted in FATF and other. How do you see the current situation in Pakistan? And the second question will be that there are travel advisories issued by several European countries asking their residents not to visit Kashmir following the abrogation of Article 370. Would you be going back to your parliaments and telling them that all is well in the Kashmir and they should lift those advisories? Thank you. Ladakh, but they can't travel to Kashmir Valley. You also took a boat ride along the Dal Lake. Would you go as a peace messenger back to your countries, saying that all is well in the Kashmir Valley and those travel advisories should be lifted?
Well, if I were understanding, your first question was about Christian in Pakistan. As European members of Parliament, we trust in the freedom of religion, and we think that everybody can have and practice his religion without any problem. And personally, as a French, but I think it's the opinion of many of my colleagues. We are a little bit worrying and about the situation of Christians in Pakistan in this moment. But unfortunately, it's not the only one country. Second question, if I can, of course, we can say to the people in Europe, you should visit Kashmir. It's a good level for development. It's a good level, as Mr. Malo said, for companies, for handicraft, for many things. But the first condition is to visit in safe conditions. And I think the fight against terrorists in this part of India is one condition for drop up the level of life of all the population.
Mir Farid, includes the European Parliament and General European Union for finding the solution for this absolutely big challenge. And we should now also about our responsibility and we should make real big efforts and support India and we should also think about our activities and also lack of our activities. And our mission here, I think, bring one important conclusion that we must real support your state in this issue. And second question, we now in the Parliament who is Asia Bibi and the party in Pakistan for her. We organized in the Parliament the special conferences about the situation of religious minority in Pakistan, including Christians, our brothers in faith, and I think for us one of the important priorities in our attitude to this country.
Mir Farid.
Probably had a single currency, don't need a visa to move around. So what would be your message and advice for this region, for the countries there is a conversation I had with His Holiness the Dalai Lama. He was praising the European Union for exactly what you mentioned, that means to make the unity after hundreds of years of wars among Europeans. He was telling me that in the 50s he had a dream. He shared his dream with President Nehru, President of India. His dream was to build a kind of union, kind of community of South Asia, including Pakistan, including Afghanistan, India, Sri Lanka, Nepal, Bhutan, and others. Fortunately, we know what happens, and but instead of this dream, we had the radicalization, and we had the war, and we had the terrorism. So when I discussed yesterday with a young activist from civil society in Kashmir, we share this dream, and I saw that these young people, they have again this dream of a better relation and of peace in this region. And if there is one message that we could deliver as Europeans, this is this one.
Zenith?
My country, the UK, we had big problems in Northern Ireland, you may remember, for a very long time, fighting between two religions, the Protestants and the Catholics, all Christians, but fighting each other. Fighting was not a solution, and in the end, we had a long procedure of talks, agreeing to talk and listen to each other, to respect each other, and wonderfully now, in Northern Ireland is peaceful. So my advice is talk, not fight.
Yeah, Zenith from Republic. In less than 2 weeks of time, the terrorist organizations are killing non-locals, and the toll has come around 11 till yesterday. Do you believe the killings of non-locals are being done to disrupt peace on ground, or is it like to torment more trouble in mainland India?
So if we make a report, you have in this delegation members of many countries, as my Polish colleague said. You have, I don't want to make the list, but you have a list of 8 countries, I think, that mean first, everybody in his delegation will be a witness about the situation, about the witness about our meeting. After that, in this delegation, you have 4 or 5 groups, political groups different. That means it's the same report that we will make. And don't forget that in European Parliament, the situation in Kashmir was a subject of discussion 1 month ago. My Polish colleague, who is better than me in Quint, told me that we are 9 states represented in this delegation. That's why I think this mission can be useful. I repeat, we never said that after some days we know the situation perfectly in Kashmir, but we know better than before. And I think the people who said this mission is a bad thing don't have a reality about the job of parliamentary members. Our job is to have information too. And about the second question, maybe I leave my colleague.
Opinions. Mine is the Liberal group, and I will go back to the Liberal group in the Parliament. It's not a formal delegation. We are a group collecting information. And I will inform my colleagues in the Liberal group, we're called the Renew group, but it's the Liberals, and I will explain to them what I have learned. And my colleagues will each explain to their political parties, and in that way we will inform the Parliament informally through our contacts.
No, as was said by my colleague, of course we had a short visit. I think the personnel in my colleague said that our main regret is that this mission was short. We couldn't have time to spend more time and to get more time for dialogue. But that's it. You know, the agenda schedule of member of the European Parliament is very limited. So the message, I correctly understood your question. The message we got from all the persons that we met is a big concern about the future of Kashmir. It's a big concern that Kashmir, unfortunately, has all the elements to become one of the most dynamic one of the most dynamic region of India. But unfortunately, as India has now reached a very high level of growth, development of wealth, development of business, creation of jobs, Kashmir, despite the fact that he got a lot of subsidies from the Indian state, from the central government, is backward because of the situation. And all the people we met understood have really goodwill to change and to improve. And the message we got that there is hope, that this change of status will help to reverse the situation, to support growth, support better health conditions, better communication, new project of infrastructures, new possibility for education for the young generation, and all in all, in working with all the communities, with a concept that we in Europe we like very much, especially we in France we like very much. That means the concept of working with all parts of the population, which religion they are. It's not important. They are all citizens, and we have to work above this ethnic division or this religious division, which are not important. So this was the message we got and the message we delivered.
Travel is short. Yes, it's short, but it's the first mission after the change of the constitution in August, and I think it's the first steps. As all my colleagues, we are ready to receive the members of parliament or representatives of India in European Parliament if they are in the majority in the opposition. I think it's better to make a short travel than nothing and just stay in our respective country and read the press, even if the press is sometimes the quality.
Arshid Rasool.
All of us that we had yesterday afternoon, we had the possibility to meet several persons from the civil society. I think there were something like 100 persons, I didn't count exactly, but something from business, from women's organizations, from trade unions, from religious groups, young people, politicians, lawyers, teachers, as it was mentioned. As I say, we were just because of a constraint, of a restraint of a schedule, it was quite short. But as Kay Mariani mentioned, it's better to have short meetings than nothing. And secondly, as I say, it's just a beginning, and I think it's very positive that it was possible for us to visit Kashmir, even with the threat. It was very positive, and we're very thankful to the authorities which support this visit.
I'm afraid, and for me was extremely fruitful. Thank you.
Mr. Gawhar, last question.
That Pakistan is backing the terrorist group. Is it this?
Ceasefire violations on the LOC. Ceasefire violations on the LOC. How do you see the situation on the line of control?
Are not perfect, and there's a little bit of an echo, and my colleagues who are doing a fantastic job, although English is not their first language, you must excuse us a little bit, but if we understood, we believe in peace. We believe in peace and talking. That's the solution to world problems, wherever you look in the world. So that's what we advocate, and we deplore violence, and we want an end to it. So that's why we're here, and this is the message I think we will take back to our colleagues in the Parliament.
Thank you for the session, but they are catching up slides.
Thank you very much indeed.